long time, and we need to sort that out immediately, but more so treat with our drivers and those who work in this space. We take the pause. We will still deal with the housekeeping, but I had to bring this hot off the press development to you before our major network news update. It's next.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chancotrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Trinidad, it's your brother Kirk Franklin. Man, I've been waiting so long to come back. Finally, it's here. March 21st. I will see you in the building. Let's go!
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Make sure you have yourself a great investment week by viewing The Boss Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Boss Report. CNC3, covering your world.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Beachy with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. Around $410 million was withdrawn from the Heritage and Stabilization Fund during the 2025 financial year. But despite that withdrawal, the country's sovereign savings account still grew, ending the 2025 financial year with roughly $6.3 billion in net assets. That represents an increase from about $6.1 billion the year before, as strong investment returns helped offset the drawdown. This was revealed in the 2025 Auditor General's report in the HSF. The report does not compare withdrawals by political administrations, as both the PNM and UNC would have been in power during the 2025 financial year. It, however, stated the fund recorded a profit of roughly $664 million over the period, helping to push the overall balance higher despite the withdrawals. But one of the concerns raised by the Auditor General's department is that the Board of Governors failed to meet between May 17th and August 19th, 2025, despite the law requiring that it convene at least once every 2 months. More than a week after leaving Tobago, the whereabouts of 2 Trinidadian sailors remain unknown. Alvin Morgan and Damian Reese left Tobago on a 29-foot fishing pirogue named Campai around 1:30 p.m. on March 2nd. The vessel was headed to the Union Island near St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but it never arrived. CNC3 News understands there were unconfirmed sightings of the boat near Carriacou, Grenada. Now, the vessel was built by a boat manufacturing company in Trinidad for a UK resident to operate in St. Vincent. Hunter Search and Rescue Captain Valence Rambarat says a report was made to the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, but attempts by CNC3 News to get an update from the Coast Guard proved unsuccessful. The Southwest Regional Health Authority is dismissing claims that the Point Fortin Hospital is closing or that critical equipment is being moved to the Cuba Children's Hospital. The response follows a social media post by Point Fortin Borough Corporation Alderman Kobe Sandy, who raised concerns about the hospital's operations and questioned the transfer of equipment. Sandy also shared an alleged memorandum suggesting patients at the Point Fortin Hospital Extended Care Center could be transferred elsewhere. elsewhere. The SWRHA says the hospital remains fully operational. It adds that no life-saving equipment has been moved to Cuba, though transfers of selected equipment between facilities are routine operational measures. Those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC Radio Network.
Well, it's let me see what, like 3 minutes after 7 o'clock again. Good morning. It's Wednesday and we're getting ready for the open forum, a chance for you to check in, a chance for me to sit back and listen. I will engage every now and then, obviously, we could have a conversation, but most times I really sit and just soak in what the nation is feeling, what they're thinking on some of these major happenings. So touch base, 624-8721 and 627-8658. Now let's see what's happening. And with the calls, sometimes we get certain concerns and we will go do our little follow-up, check in and see what's the particular issue. And that's how we know, it's kind of like keeping us on our toes and in the loop with what's happening. Let's set to Faisal. Brother Faisal, good morning.
Brother Jason, morning.
Welcome.
Jason, I want to make a little suggestion. It just ran through my mind this morning listening to the program and your background music. Yes, your introductory music. You remember Natasha Wilson had a song called Sweet TNT?
Yeah, Sweet TNT.
Lovely, my brother. Yeah. And Brother Marvin has another one called Jahajibai.
I remember.
Maybe you could give me a little thing intermittently that would remind people how beautiful Trinidad is.
Yeah.
Yes? And so, they said, with respect to the police, I am seeing that, and this is a personal encounter that, I've experienced, that you go to the police station, you have to go 4 times to give one statement. So I am wondering if they could have a special report desk with specialized people. Once you have to make report, you go directly to that desk, so it will take away a lot of the overwork from the policeman who would have worked last night and have to stay there until 10 o'clock next day to take a report. But
Faisal, normally in the charge room, your first person encounter, that's supposed to be the person who, the sentry who manning the scene, and they're supposed to be the ones in the charge room.
Said, well, if that is the case, I am sorry to tell you, my brother, it's dysfunctional.
Ooh.
It's very, very dysfunctional. Because my daughter had an issue and she had to go to the police station 4 times until I had to tell her, just drop that, because she had a break-in at her business place. You follow? It's frustrating, and you have to go there at 9, 10 o'clock in the night when the officer comes in to work when he's on duty. I mean, this is crazy. So we need to fix that, and then you'll find the systems might start to work a little better. I guess specialized people have a report desk that people can go to. Another thing I want to touch on, Jason, is that this situation in Iran, I've heard a lot of these analysts and political scientists and what have you, like Professor Niles and all of these people. I want you to do a little investigation. Find out what is China's and India's and Russia's position with respect to the war in Iran, and it will guide you to a certain direction. China is very silent. Russia is very silent. India is very silent.
Well, for now, because remember, most of Iran's oil goes to, guess what?
Exactly.
China. Goes to China.
And exactly, that's the point I am making you, brother, is that it's all about economics.
Yeah, but when it starts when I think it starts to impact China, I think that's when they might insert themselves in the conversation, and that's when it will get very sticky.
I am telling you, I suspect they might insert themselves in the conversation, but from a very diplomatic standpoint. Nothing confrontational that there has been evangelizing or suggesting over the past years. Because, the tariffs and things, that America, they are struggling with that tariff from America right now. And the entire Chinese economy could collapse. Yes, Jason?
Well,
Trinidad is no different. We're kind of looking for the benefits that could be derived. Of course, there might be some fallout, but I'm thinking that we are looking for the greater good, my brother.
Well, I mean, honestly, Faizo, again, as I said this morning, and I know you're listening online, call me basic, but I can't find benefits in war. I mean, granted, yes, they would have certain economic thing, but
I only listen over the TV, Brother Jason.
All right.
So if you've seen anything online, could be somebody impersonating me.
All right.
I agree. Yeah. I agree that there is no benefit in for humanity. I agree. But we have gone past that now, Jason. Look at Ukraine. Look, in the month of Ramadan, I've been hearing people say, but right through, from time immemorial, there have been wars in the month of Ramadan in the Middle East.
Yeah, but you would think that in 2026 we would have learned, and you think that mankind and leaders would have a different approach and would sit on a table and talk and not try to strangle and choke cold people. You know what's the irony? And I'll hold my thought there. Let me bring our next caller in. I want to bring it back to Cuba with something, with a little something I was thinking about, and you let me know if my thought process in the right place. Who's out there? Good morning.
This is Diego Martin, Jason.
Diego, welcome.
Right. This morning I begin up the TTPS for rapid action. You see that maxi taxi driver who wanted to bust the head of the licensing officers? I like what they did. Rapid response hold him, and I think he needs to be analyzed psychologically because he has people who expect him to be safe on the road. And if he has that propensity to behave like that, how would he be looking after those people in his van? We in SOE, and if I had the wherewithal, I would have taken away his driver license right away.
Well, I'll tell you, Diego, I just want to engage you for a moment. Now, don't get me wrong, I am totally here with you. At the end of the day, rules are rules. We have to respect authority. But we see, the reality is, Diego, a lot of people frustrated out there. There's a lot of frustration, and people are being taxed. And obviously, yes, most in the wrong. But I guess the little discretion, the little blight, the little having a heart, sometimes the authorities, they come in very strong. And I guess what they saw there in real time was somebody who could not take it anymore. Again, not making excuses for the man, and he will have to face the brunt of the law.
Make excuses because
I'm saying he will have to face the brunt of the law, Diego, but there are people who generally, they're really frustrated out there, Diego, honestly. That's the reality.
Right, because we have let down this pact from what governance model we had for the last 40 years. But the other question I want, and this is against the police, the second phase, the general and the current Prime Minister said, we want to start the second phase of mitigating and continuing to see a decline in crime. And I see a photo up with her with the president of El Salvador, Bukele. And the utterances I want to hear them saying now, grease the gallows. But more importantly, one of the significant organizations with this second phase is the police service. And I'm hoping they're identifying officers with integrity, competency, and the level of expertise to accept when transfer technology and training is being made afforded at Trinidad and Tobago. I don't want it to be another day of policing and people who are incompetent in the police to be that cadre of officers who will interface with the Americans to move the country forward with respect to mitigating crime.
All right. Have a nice day. I want to give the government some points here this morning. I want to say commendation to our government administration that finally is going to put some of the laws online. This form you have to fill out, that's going to be something of the past, and I'm really happy that we are heading in that direction. Thankfully, oh my goodness. I used to wonder where all them forms go in, like all our paper. So well done. I'm seeing that development here on page 7. Sawa, what's he saying? Good morning.
Hey, morning, sir.
Welcome.
Full-time caller.
Welcome, Sawa.
I just want to commend you on a great job on your station. But I have one issue for a long time. You hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man.
I want to talk about Akash Samaru.
Yeah?
That gentleman, no, I not know PNM or no UNC. I heard that gentleman when PNM was in power. So I said, see this man attacking PNM. But when the UNC come in power and the same energy, I see this man have integrity. And when this man asks a question to the Prime Minister about repealing the salary, she attacked him. The UNC people started to attack the man. Before, they didn't love him when he was coming against PNM. And I telling you, for me, I had to apologize to Akasamayu because I thought he was attacking PNM. But he's a man with integrity. And to see how UNC people are attacking him, and to see that the media at that time, I was very disappointed in media. They didn't stand up Akasamayu how they're supposed to stand up him. Because that wasn't nice. Because when he was doing his job, when PNM was in power, they love him. Now UNC in power and he's giving them the same energy. That is what you call integrity. And this is the kind of people we want.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day, sir.
Have a blessed day, sir. Yeah, man. I know Akash will feel very happy to know that you see him in that light and to recognize that he's doing his job. And that's Akash. You know, when you talk about patriots, people like Akash is in the conversation. It matters who. And you could put me in that conversation too. And again, the reality is no secret. I would have put myself on a whole elections. Get rough up. But when I sit here and I analyze why I even went in that direction in the first place, it was always about country, you know, to see what could be done to move the needle. So well done, Akash. And yeah, continue the great work. And don't worry, man, Akash, back broad, he could take the licks, man. Bring it on. You know, it just makes us stronger. Final call, Santa Cruz. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason, and morning to the people of Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Jason, I want to deal with the whole question of the Minister of Education outlined a number of measures and code of conduct for students and different things like that. And what we have is successive ministers actually doing the same thing and not realizing that everything is cause and effect. And what we're dealing is with the effects and not the cause. And what I believe should happen is that the social welfare, together with police officers who may be specially trained to deal with the cause of the effects of what causing children to misbehave in class. Because what he's saying, there is an increase in fighting and disruption in the classes as such. And I believe that homes supposed to be visited by a group of police officers and social welfare to deal with the cause. Because if we do not deal with the cause, then the effects will continue as such. You understand me? Because the whole question of children's behavior may well have to do with improper parenting that leave the children unattended. And as a consequence of that, the children and them misbehave, and they misbehave in home and carry it on the outside. The second point I want to deal with, I listened to the Minister of Social Welfare boasting about how much food cards they give out. Jason, one of the challenges that we face in our society, we boast rather than think. And if you have to give out more food cards, is the microcosm, is a reflection of the state of our economy and the state in terms of where people are at. Because as long as you have, if you're feeding 10 people and it increases to 12, it means that more and more people is on the breadline, and more people are getting poorer and poorer every single day. So I believe it shouldn't be a boast, it should be a concern of the government to look at the amount of food cards and measure it in terms of the unemployment and people who are unable to put food on the table for their children. So it's not a boast, it should be a concern and not to be boasting about more food cards. Thank you, Jason. This is Mr. Santa Cruz signing off.
Oliver Santa Cruz. So the point I wanted to make about Cuba, and again, you know, I really had to smile with the Sawa caller there and his review on Akash. You know, really, Akash is one of those guys that, I mean, for those who follow his career, he goes there and he puts forward serious questions, and it's questions that people ask the listening public, we want answers too. So, Akash, I mean, just want to say commendation again and continue the great work. But in terms of Cuba, I was thinking out, right? In a quiet moment, I'm saying, okay, all of a sudden there's a big concern about Cuba's governance style and the fact that they might be communists or socialists or they don't have a democracy. And the people in Cuba, they have been suffering for all these years, and people getting minimum salary, basics, bare minimum. Internet, you can only get it in certain parts of Havana and the places in a shambles. And I'm saying the way some of the powers want to treat with that is to make the people suffer even more. Strangle them, chokehold them, for them to self-implode, all right, so that they can bring someone in under the umbrella of democracy to be more favorable to whatever the agenda is out there. And I just find it, what Jamaica, imagine Jamaica that would have benefited, just like Trinidad, with their medical program. They have to wrap up, they have to wrap up their 50-year-old partnership. They've been, let me see, it's about 50 years, probably even more than 50, a matter of fact. The technical cooperation between Jamaica and Cuba, it's conclusion, wrapped up. They have to wrap it up. However, the health minister in Jamaica says the eye care program will continue because it's integral to their health ecosystem in Jamaica. And, we have Cuban doctors here, there are Cuban doctors in Grenada. So I wonder what's going to happen as they push to almost break Cuba. Obviously, the focus now is on the Middle East with Iran, but Cuba, our neighbor, is up north. They're in some problems. And all of a sudden, we have this major concern about their governance structure. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get into that long debate, but I do feel making them suffer, breaking them, is going to augur well for a nation that's washed by the Caribbean Sea. But I'll stick a pause on it. We could also talk about that probably tomorrow or later on Friday. Let's get ready. Tobago talks. We head to Tobago. And there's some developments on the sister isle that's very concerning. The tutor officer, Dion Rodriguez, steps in to explain what's happening.
My man, Andre.
Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo?
We're like coworkers who don't forget your name.
I'm Angelo.
CG United. Good like that.
Move from CXC to your business management degree in just over 2 years with the globally and ACTT-recognized ABE qualification at CTS College. Students with limited CSEC passes or mature candidates with work experience can enroll. Each level can be completed in under 6 months, with a diploma awarded upon completion of each level and a bachelor's degree awarded at the end of the entire program. Contact CTS College today and ask about our flexible payment terms.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallo Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time, or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Oh, this and every Wednesday, Tobago Talks. When Tobago Talk, we listen. I want to say congratulations and, of course, a sincere welcome to the newly minted Tobago officer under the umbrella of a tutor. His name is Dion Rodriguez, and he is taking up this particular role and function in a time where some of what we're seeing from the Sister Isle is not really pleasing. Obviously, we have seen school violence and deviant behavior, but Trinidad, unfortunately, would have been a major part of that conversation. Didn't really hear much or see much coming out of Tobago. And I know there are many here with the concerns to remedy the situation in Trinidad, but I want to know what's the plan for Tobago with this uptick, as it were, and how they're faring in light of some of these recent developments. So let me say a sincere welcome to Mr. Rodriguez. I know that all hands must be on deck. Tobago, it's a community, it's close-knit, and it's not looking good for Tobago, and I know you all do feel good about some of what's happening right now. Welcome to you, and congrats on the role and function, Dion.
Pleasant good morning, Mr. Williams. A pleasant good morning to the listening audience. Everyone locked on, special welcome to the teachers in the space that are listening. Yes, and we are here this morning to discuss the issues, especially the issues of violence, school violence in the Tobago space. I know it is concerning because we would have seen last week in this space that one secondary school, there was an altercation, there was a scenario where individuals would have attempted to visit the school to start a physical altercation with schools on the compound. The news would have brought same, and as an association, we are very concerned about the level of violence, whether it be in Trinidad or in Tobago. And we have seen, speaking to the principal at that secondary school, she would have indicated to me as a Tobago officer that over a year she have not seen a situation like this in her school or at this space. And to be honest, in the Tobago space, we would have seen from time to time spurge of violent activities. And we know that a school is a microcosm of the society, and what we see taking place in the society really spills over into the school environment. Yeah. So it's important that this be addressed. We saw that the police at that incident was addressed or came to the school in a timely manner to address the situation, and kudos to the police service in that regard. But Mr. Williams, it is important that we also understand what are influencing these young children or these young people, these teenagers, and even so sometimes in the primary school. We live in a society where the music, the culture, the gang culture is infiltrating our communities, and Tobago is not spared of that infiltration. We see a couple of years ago in recent past where we had a number of murders in the Tobago space that were gang related in relation to this 6 and 7. So as a result of that, from time to time, we see the level of violence increasing, and I'm certain when the investigation is revealed based on what has transpired, it would be because of that level of gang relation and that level of interaction, trying to imitate what is taking place in the wider community. As a matter of fact, some of these young people may even be part of those gang activities that are taking place. And the music that they listen to doesn't serve to reduce that level of violence, but rather to enhance it.
So the 6 and 7 scenario, the numbers, gang, that reality, it's one that was born here in Trinidad in the urban struggle, in the urban space, and clearly it's spreading its tentacles across not only Tobago, but parts of the region also, unfortunately. So you're saying to me that it's taken root in the school system where children are pledging allegiance to said gangs and acting in a defiant manner?
Well, I'm saying that it has reached the Tobago space 1, and these said students are part of the communities. We don't have empirical evidence to say that this student is a part of a gang or that student is a part of a gang. But coming out of a secondary school myself, I recently took up this office about a month and 2 weeks ago, at the 1st of February. I know within the secondary school from experience and interaction with the students there that they attempt to align themselves to these gangs, even though they may not be part of the gang, for the very reason that the music itself would have been infused into the culture. They try to align themselves with either 6 or 7. So you've seen a situation where students are coming to a school compound to have an altercation with another student or another group of students. It has its inherent nature in the societal ills that we face presently.
So, Officer Rodriguez, what's being done? What's the solution? Because I know Tobago, it's a community, it's close-knit, all hands on deck, especially when it comes to the young people, because they are the future of sweet Tobago. What's being done in the fallout of what we saw? Because that was a total brawler. I mean, that was brawling. People running after school, people screaming, police pull up on the scene. It looked like a movie, and I'm saying this is not a good look. And I know, based on what I saw, that there would have been some kind of remedy and some kind of working plan to treat with that and to ensure it doesn't happen again. What's on the agenda?
All right, so in communication with different officials, the attempt is to take a holistic approach to addressing this situation. So from the school level, I know that the principal would be, and the teachers at the school will be having constant conversation with the students, ensuring and encouraging them to engage in amicable situations to bring conflicts to a resolution. Attempts is also being made at conflict resolution strategies within the school environment. So that level of conversation with the students, having them understand what are the disadvantages and dissuading them from engaging in such a practice is being done. I would have heard of the Secretary of Education stating that they're taking a no-nonsense approach to violence within schools, and they have plans afoot. We don't know as the association what are those plans afoot, but from the school level, I know that the school have been working, the teachers have been working, they have implementation at some schools of conflict resolution. But the challenge with the conflict resolution, sometimes we have the holistic discussions with the students, but only when the incidents occur, then we engage in intense conflict resolution, maybe one-on-one with the students per se that were involved in the situation. So it's a multifaceted approach that is going to be taken to address such a situation. The police and the community police have their part to play as well. So the teachers are playing their part. The community police is playing their part. We're hearing of the division that is going to come on board and do that which is necessary. I know that there are programs available when these students are suspended and they go to the learning center. Individuals come in and speak to them. But what we see happening as well is that there's a recurrence of the same individuals returning to these learning centers. There are recurrence of these students, just as in the community and the society at large. It's a selected few individuals that are creating that level of discomfort, that is creating that level of chaos in the space for others that want to learn, that want to engage, so that they can better enhance themselves. And I'm saying that all hands have to be on deck, including the parents, because the parents have a responsibility as well, and the parents need to take responsibility, because you are the first person that child interact with, and you have to take some level of responsibility. I know that there are no parenting manual in this space, and it's a trial and error situation, but parents also have to take some level of responsibility, and maybe within this space something has to be done to ensure that parents take greater responsibility for the actions of their children.
You know, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Comrade Rodriguez, because I was now going to ask if indeed there are students coming, you know, it's a revolving door. They go to the learning center, they go back to the system, then they do something off and they're back again. I wonder if we have to do a deeper dive into their background, into what they're going through at home or in the wider environment. So I'm happy that you're going to engage the parents. Let me ask in real time, is it just, it's like a one-off, what we saw last week? Because you said the principal told you, well, you know, this didn't happen within a whole year. So a year of non-violence to me is a great accomplishment. And then sometimes things could erupt, and when it erupted, well, clearly, really, it went viral. So could we say, in uncertain terms, the violence in the schools is almost like a kind of one-off, or is it something a little more regular and rampant in the Tobago space?
Well, there are violence in the school consistently, but to the extent that we saw last week publicized in the space, we haven't seen that level of violence displayed in the schools for a while. But as you know, violence within schools doesn't only take the form of fighting. It also takes the form of verbal abuse. It also takes the form of bullying. It also takes the form of threats. So all these are considered to be school violence within the space. And within different schools, we constantly hear of incidents of violence within the school, but not of that magnitude. And as I indicated, from time to time, things are being done within the constructs, the administration, along with the teachers. They work to ensure that they reduce the level of violence in the school. I know from a governmental perspective, at 2 secondary schools in Tobago, they would have introduced the police within the school. Whether or not that is working is yet to be determined. We don't have any empirical evidence to say that this is what would have transpired since we have the police officers at the schools. But the magnitude that we saw displayed last week, it is not a regular occurring in the space.
Let me ask in real time, because you're part of the system. When you discipline children, do parents come on board? Are they there with you shoulder to shoulder? Or do parents come and oppose teachers and oppose the system and try to defend the children when sometimes they're in the wrong? Is it a wrong and strong scenario, or are parents shoulder to shoulder with the authorities in Tobago?
There are incidents. Now, as I indicated, I would have taken up this position only about a month ago. And as a result, I wouldn't have the empirical evidence to speak widely, because I'm now communicating and interacting with the schools and so on. But from my personal experience, being a teacher for the past 28 years, teaching at a secondary school for the last 16 years, what you would see is a mixture of both. And that is why I say that parents have a very integral role to play. In some cases, you would see the parents coming in and they're supporting the actions of the teacher, supporting the actions of the school, trying to correct the child. But in other cases where the parents come into the school environment, and rather than being apologetic, and rather than reaching out to the principal, they make attempts to even become as violent as, makes attempts to become violent within the space. There was an incident where I was at a secondary school and a parent came onto the compound and the principal had to call for the male teachers for her support.
So in a situation like that, I mean, you don't want to deny a child education. I think it's a fundamental right. But in a scenario like that, I mean, you might have to pull out the iron fist and tell them to go take private tutoring or something, because how could we encourage that kind of behavior? What example are we going to set if a parent is coming to defend a child who's in the wrong, a child knowing that the parent will defend them regardless of the circumstance? I mean, that child might feel empowered and feel they're untouchable.
Definitely. Within the space, though, there's actions that can be taken. Remember, the administrator's hands are tied, so they can engage in suspension and maybe recommend extended suspension, but the expulsion of a child from any school is the responsibility and only that of the Minister of Education. So the Minister of Education is the one that is vested with the authority for any level of expulsion to take place within a school environment.
You think we need to give that responsibility to probably, they probably need to spread that particular power?
Well, we don't want, I don't know if it's a matter of spreading the power, because when we expel these students that have already been deviant, what happens, Mr. Williams? They go into the public space, they go into our communities, they come up in our windows and in our doors and so on. So we don't want a situation as a tutor. We are not saying just to expel students, but we need some form of reformation. It may be that these students have not been trained. It may be that these students were brought up in environments that are undesirable, and they are seeing behaviors and are emanating and imitating behaviors that they are seeing in their communities, and there should be some level of reform. There should be some level of correction to their behavior. So just getting them out of the school system, I understand that these students are usually the ones that create the level of disruption, and additionally they make it difficult for those who are attempting to learn. But reformation must be on the table. These students must have some form of reformation, so at the end of the day they are changed in behavior and they become productive citizens, individuals that can contribute to the development of the society, and that is where the direction that we would want to go.
Well, I want to thank you for that, Comrade Rodriguez. The only reason I asked really was to really hear from you and to reaffirm the fact that we're not going to give up on the youngsters. Yes, I know there are some who are really troubled, and I look back at my own experience with those guys in my year group that were really doing the most. 9 out of 10 of them are doing quite well now, and when I talk to them as big men, they too would have mentioned the perils at their home and in their community, and they used to just outburst in school because of certain issues at home, abuse, lack of love, extreme poverty, different multiple limbs of consideration for why some students really go off the edge. But there is always hope, and I think there is lots of potential in our young people, especially those who are in the Tobago space. Comrade, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez, for touching base, and we will be, trust me, we'll be talking very often, so I look forward to our next engagement, man. All the best.
Definitely, thank you, and have a good day.
That's right, that's Tobago officer there for tutor, Dion Rodriguez. I like his energy, you know, you could see he's a realist, and he's a man, he's had 20 years of, I think it was more than 20 years. How much years of, he's a couple of years well, 28 years, he said, of teaching experience with 16 in the secondary school system. Wow, what a career. Let's get ready for the pause, and we come back with some housekeeping. See you soon.
Fat Fellas goes to San Fernando, heading south.
2 Fat Fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
2 Fat Fellas stars: Cecilia, Kenny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Rory. Tickets available at Dormont Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Athletes by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th, and islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-4843.
2 Fat Fellas, Sapa. 2 nights only.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Devashagonas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Attention all listeners, are you ready for the ultimate news experience? Introducing the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the nation's first and most subscribed newspaper. We deliver where others can't. With the widest delivery network in TNT, you can have the Guardian delivered right to your doorstep or office every single day. Take advantage of our special annual subscription offer so you can stay on top of the leading stories even when you're on the go. Sign up today. Time is running out. Inquire about our 3-month and 6-month packages as well. Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
PRWC, protect your loved ones with a Western Global Security Combo, only $3,000. PS5 console game, $5,400. Unwind with an 85-inch Samsung TV, $9,999. HP 14-inch laptop for $1,900. Amazon 8-inch Fire tablet, $760. HP print scan copy printer, $625. We have speakers, mouse, printers, and lots more. 3 months layaway also available.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off, shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy.
Rock off,
unbeatable
rock
taste,
off.
new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Alejandro, you're still alive.
Mr. Alejandro! Mrs. Lucia! Mrs. Lucia, come quick, Mr.
Alejandro! My goodness! You're so... Sophia!
Don't miss the gripping drama Cabo. Sundays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain is here with me, TTIVF, our important conversation every single Wednesday. Doc, I want to say, great to see you. Good morning.
JW, it's always lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I want to deal this morning with egg donation. A very important conversation. I know we would have dealt with this a couple of months ago, but for a nice refresher, I think it's a good time.
It is, and I think a lot of people don't know that we have that service available right here in TNT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's the first process there? Because I guess, one, we need a willing donor, and I guess you all need to do your verifications and checks to ensure that all is healthy and well.
Yeah, so people might not even actually know what egg donation is. So there are some women who just cannot get pregnant because there's a problem with their eggs. And it can be young women. We're seeing a lot more young women, and there are genetic issues in the eggs, and the eggs won't make a baby. Or older women, for a variety of reasons. Some people it's age-related. So a lot of women need an egg from somebody else to get a baby. And that's where these amazing egg donor women come in. They give a gift of eggs. They donate some eggs.
Wow. So for a woman who's willing, she wants to donate, or I guess even if there's a particular issue and someone speaks to a friend or a family member and they're willing, what's the process from there? Once there's that desire to do such, walk me through the step by step.
So we have to screen an egg donor, and you have to be suitable. You have to have lots of good eggs that are going to die in your body that month, and they would be gone, and you're giving a little gift of the ones that were going to die that month, and you're going to give those away. So you need to be healthy. You need to be young. So we have an anonymous egg bank. People donate into our egg bank, and we take women between the ages of 21 and 28. We also have women who come saying, I'd like to be a known donor for my sister or for my aunt or my friend. And for those women, you can go a little older. We go above 28. We go into, the oldest we've done is 37, donating her eggs to her sister and got a lovely baby. So if you're wanting to be an egg donor, 21 to 28 years old, sorry ladies, if you're 35 or over, I know you're young and healthy, but the eggs are less good at making a baby. You have to be healthy, normal hormones, a non-smoker for at least 3 months, and you can't have transmissible diseases like sickle cell disease, severe endometriosis. Some of the psychiatric disorders that are easily treatable these days are passed on. So there's things that we rule out you can't be an egg donor for, and you contact us.
Okay, so what we looking at on screen here?
This is an amazing egg. So this is under the microscope. Eggs are one of the largest cells in the human body, but if you put it on the tip of a pen, you could probably get about 20 eggs on the tip of a pen. And eggs are bouncy, so that's us holding an egg in our microscope. We're about to inject a sperm in, and if you see, they're just bouncing on the edge of the egg. It's beautiful and healthy, and the membranes are soft and bouncy, not like a hen's eggs. We don't have shells that are hard, and it's an incredible thing. I don't think many people know human eggs are beautiful and bouncy.
Look at that, the science. That is, wow, look at that, you're seeing it in real time. So, I would imagine, walk me through the timeline from the time the donor steps in, they do their screening, they're deemed good to go, the egg is healthy, everything is, all the I's are dotted, you cross the T's. What's the timeline, and is there a particular, I know there must be some kind of compensation for the donation of the egg.
Yeah, so egg donors are going to give us a few hours of their time over the course of 2 weeks. So once you're screened, blood screening, medical screening, psychological screening, and you're good to go, and you decide it's what you want to do, you're going to need to take injections once a morning for about 10 days, and we teach you how to do that. You're going to need to come in for scans and blood tests that take about half an hour every couple of days, and then you're going to need to come in for an egg collection when your eggs are ready and nicely grown at about the 10-day mark, and that takes about 3 to 4 hours. We'll need that day of your time. So it's like a kind of extra little bit on top of your job. So people work, or they're at school, doing at college, but then you're just adding in these little extra things that you're doing. And so we don't pay for your eggs, but we compensate you for your time as if you were doing a job. And so it's about 10 days of your time we're going to need, and we compensate 5,000 TT for that. And you get paid no matter how many eggs you get paid when you've done an egg collection. Even if we don't get any eggs, you still get your compensation because you've given us the time.
Yeah, well, as always, Dr. Catherine Mintobain, we want to thank you for the time this morning with us. All the information there is on screen. Definitely reach out. New spanking new location there on the highway. You can't miss it. So again, Doc, great to see you, and we'll touch base soon.
JW, thank you.
You're welcome. Final conversation up next. We head across to, I believe it's Tobago. That's right, the Tobago Anglican Church's Lenten Mission, Gathering the Pilgrims 2026 Healing Service. Full details after the break.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Devonshire. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Stranded ass. It's your brother, Kirk Franklin. Man, I've been waiting so long to come back. Finally, it's here. March 21st.
Because of Jesus.
I will see you in the building. Let's go!
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Deacon Larry Paul joins me on the Zoom line as they gather the pilgrims. It's going to be a truly amazing healing service that's carded. All the details coming up right now with Deacon Paul. Good morning to you and a sincere welcome to the program.
Of course, good morning, Brother Williams, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Of course, sharing the message and wishing all of you a very pleasant day today.
So the gathering of the pilgrims, I recognize I'm seeing the Tobago Anglican Church's Lenten mission is part of this. Is this going to be a Tobago engagement? Is it a Trinidad engagement or both islands?
So this is a Tobago engagement where we have 21 churches in the island, and we all get together around this time, especially when it's Lenten season. Something started way back 25 years ago by Archdeacon Phil Isaac, where all our churches gather. And this year we are gathering at Shore Park Cultural Complex for a healing service, where all of us come together, all 4 parishes, 21 churches, for a spirit-filled, inspirational morning of healing, led, of course, by the Bishop Claude Berkeley. He, of course, will be the celebrant. But this year in particular, we are focusing on healing in body, mind, and spirit. And we start at 8 o'clock in the morning at Shore Park Cultural Complex, 8 a.m. And we have the morning service. It's going to be a spirit-filled service where we focus on healing. For this year, our focus is really on healing because, so many things happening around us. And we are saying, listen, come where we ask God's healing through His agents, through all our clergy, all our lay ministers. But the healing is not from God. We are going to be praying. And of course, the priests will be doing the laying on of hands, the anointing, where the clergy will really be doing the praying and asking God for His healing.
Yeah, thank you.
So inviting all persons, if we're non-Anglican, just come to Shore Park, come for a spirit-filled morning, where you lay it all to God, because you see, in this period of Lent, we ask people to come to where you have that to walk back, come, if you are strayed, come back to God. Come back to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's a point we ask for repentance. And this Sunday coming is that time where we say, listen, man, come back. God is alive and well. Whatever your problem, whatever situation you're in, come and ask God's intervention. And we have all that spirit-filled journey on Sunday coming.
Excellent. I'm so happy I got some of the stats this morning. Now, of course, Sunday, we know it's going to be a truly amazing gathering, and we applaud all those who are making their schedule, adjusting the schedule, even if, you're accustomed every Sunday going to Mass, or even if this is one that you have said, you know what, I haven't been there for a while, I want to be part of the healing. But I've recognized from what you have told me, it's 21 churches, and I guess that is the foundation of why the Anglican Church is so strong in Tobago, because that is something I've known. I know that you all have a strong, very strong presence and congregation there on this style.
Yes, and certainly. And we try to, and that's why we had the gathering of pilgrims, because it's a time for us to come together. Because there's so many churches, so this time, all of us meet at one place, which is important. We're at fellowship. We all fellowship at the same place. And when you have a body of people fellowship at the same place, asking God, we have the same intention, which is healing, asking God intervention on the nation. in any particular situation, we're praying for God's intervention. Yeah. So when all of us come together and of the same mind, same thought, something powerful will happen this Sunday at Shore Park. So you don't have to be Anglican, because we have a strong presence in the island, but we are saying, whatever denomination you are, we are inviting you to come. Even if you have an Anglican, you haven't been to church for a long time, it's a good time to come and renew your fellowship with God and just share with God's people. It will be an inspirational morning. Because besides that, we have some music ministry at midday. I want to get to that part before I get back. At midday, at the service, you can also call in, because the service will be streamed live, and we are asking for persons for prayer requests. So if you have a prayer request and you couldn't make it at the Shore Park Cultural Complex, you can call in, and our prayer warriors will come and we will pray for you. We have also 2 choirs. We have the music ministry, where we sing some of the modern hymns and so on, and we have the traditional choir sing those traditional hymns, because music plays a very important part in healing. Because you remember David played the harp and would have quiet soul in his confusion. So we are saying we have a spirit-filled moment of music as well to infuse in the prayer to invite God's healing on all of us.
Deacon Paul, let me just say it's been a real pleasure and treasure touching base with you this morning. And may the mass, the gathering on Sunday bring solace and more peace to a beautiful space that is our sister island Tobago, and may the blessings also extend to Trinidad and beyond, to the 4 corners of the earth. All the best, Deacon.
Remember, we're not leaving you out. If you're in Trinidad and you want to come, that's why we're here. This is national.
Well, I was in Bago over the weekend, and you never know. I was actually there.
You come back this Sunday?
Well, I mean, Deacon,
Cultural Complex.
Well, Deacon Paul, seeing that, I'll have to make plans.
An invitation.
All right then. Say less.
Because what I'm saying, a number of persons have so much stress around this time. So no matter where you are, come for that power of solace and healing. We invite everyone to be a part of Gathering of Pilgrims. This Sunday, Shore Park Cultural Complex. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day. That's Deacon Paul, the touching
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure indeed, as we gather the pilgrims, the 2026 healing service this Sunday at Shore Park from 8 a.m. With that, I make my exit. It's going to be action-packed day ahead, lots to treat with. And I hope that on your end, you also get through with whatever the task is. God's spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. And as always, a sincere thanks. Thank you. 3 thank yous for tuning in and for being part of the Morning Brew on this beautiful Wednesday. All the best, TNT.
You're watching CNC3. As an affiliate of CNN International, we now join their current programming.
Manager drilled holes in the truck's tank. They tried to siphon it out, but some spilled, and then the fire sparked, and there you have it. The manager blames high gas prices for the theft, saying that every night lately he has issues with people stealing gas. Brand new hour of CNN News Central starts now.
This morning, new escalations in the war with Iran. At least 3 ships hit overnight near the Strait of Hormuz, and oil prices rising again. Iran ramping up what it calls its most intense and heaviest operation since the war started. Here at home, deadly tornadoes tearing through the central U.S. That same storm system putting tens of millions of people in potential danger where that storm is headed. And a man fixing his car gets pinned underneath it. How he was saved at his auto shop. I'm Sarah Sider with Kate Baldwin and John Berman. This is CNN News Central.
Just into CNN, new images near the Strait of Hormuz off Iran, where new attacks are now sending oil prices on another wild ride today. This is a Thai-flagged ship, one of at least 3 vessels that have been struck today in that critical waterway. Thailand's Ministry of Transport says 20 crew members have been rescued. 3, though, remain unaccounted for. We're going to show you a map of the approximate locations of these attacks on ships today in the Strait. A reminder, some 20 million barrels of fuel a day move through this critical shipping route, and it is clearly effectively remains shut down because of this very real threat. Let's get right to Paula Hancock's live in Abu Dhabi for the latest on this. What are you hearing here?
Well, Kate, we just heard from the UK Maritime Agency, and they say that as of now, they believe that about 13 vessels have been impacted since this war started. Now, you mentioned that Thai-flagged ship. We have some more information on that as well from authorities. They said that there was an explosion at the stern and then a fire broke out in the engine room. Now, this is believed to be where those 3 missing sailors were on duty at the time. So 20 rescued by the Omani Navy. We know that the captain told the crew to evacuate. They got in lifeboats and were then saved, but 3 still missing at this point. So it is a great concern that Iran appears to be ratcheting up these attacks on vessels in the Strait of Hormuz and in these very critical waters. Now, one of the vessels, we understand, was a cargo vessel, so we're not just talking about the restrictions of oil getting to where it needs to here. There's a lot more that there are concerns of. Now, a quick look at what else has been happening since Iran has said that it's going to have its most intense and heaviest operation. We do appear to be seeing a fairly consistent retaliation across the Gulf nations. Here in the UAE, we have been hearing a number of different waves of interceptions. Dubai Airport, there were 2 drones that hit nearby. We understand that 4 people have been injured there, authorities saying in the vicinity of Dubai Airport that fell. Flights have started to take off again now, though. We also know that in Bahrain, in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, they have also seen interceptions and alerts over the past 24 hours. And Iran has also expanded, if you like, its target list. We are hearing from Iranian officials through state media that they say now offices and assets of major American tech companies with operations in the region would be considered a legitimate target. Now, clearly, there are many in this Gulf region. We also had an interesting quote I want to bring to you from the Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesperson saying that from day one they had warned that this could be the potential fallout of any military action in Iran. He said, quote, "This is the biggest I told you so in the history of I told you so's in the world." Clearly, there is frustration and anger among leaders in this region. Kate?
Very clearly. Paula Hancock, thank you so much, Paula, for bringing us all of those new headlines. I really appreciate it. John.
Yeah, and some more images of that Thai vessel on fire in the Strait of Hormuz. You can see the smoke rising from it. And again, it's just one of 3 ships that had been hit over the last 12 to 24 hours. That one's right there, but also 2 other vessels apparently hit by projectiles overnight. You can get a sense of what this is doing to the area. I just want to point out, all these ships, this is the most narrow part of the strait, but you can see all these ships backed up here, all these ships backed up here. And if you push in, right, if you push in, you can see it's this most narrow point, this checkpoint in the strait, which is 20 miles wide, but the shipping lane itself is just 2 miles wide. Very little shipping cargo, very little oil going through that right now. That's what's creating this situation that Paula Hancock was just talking about. The Qataris are very upset about. One other development overnight inside Iraq, a U.S. installation, a diplomatic support center, was hit, apparently, by a drone. Let's get to CNN's Oren Lieberman right now, who is in Tel Aviv for the latest on this. In this sense of maybe now of Iranian resolve, what the Iranians are capable of and what they plan to do going forward, even in the face of these continued relentless attacks from the U.S. and the Israelis.
That's an excellent point, John. And even in the face of these unrelenting assaults on Iran, on its leadership, on its military capabilities, on the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps by the U.S. and Israel, Iran has been able to fire back. It's asymmetric warfare. They can't match the U.S. or Israel military strength. What they can do is cause panic, fear, and disruption, as well as casualties and injuries. And you see that in what you pointed out right there. A suspected Iranian drone hit a U.S. diplomatic facility in Baghdad. That, according to two U.S. sources familiar with the matter. So you see their ability to continue to carry out these attacks with what are, frankly, fairly cheap but effective weapons to do what Iran is trying to do here. First, to show its resolve, and second, to strike back. And in fact, just a moment before you came to me, we got an all clear from Israel's Home Front Command from the last Iranian incoming ballistic missile. That siren went off about 15-20 minutes ago. Then we got the alerts here in the area to head into the shelter, and we were clear to come out just a few moments ago. So even as the U.S. and Israel have tried to target Iran's ballistic missile array, Iran has been able to keep up firing, and that, as they see it, is their resolve and their determination to continue what they see as their resistance to the U.S. and Israeli assault that began 12 days ago now. And this is how it looks like this will continue. And frankly, this applies to the Strait of Hormuz as well. They don't have to do that much damage or lay that many mines in the Strait of Hormuz to cause a worldwide impact. And that's because once a few ships are damaged there, it simply becomes too costly and too risky, especially from an insurance perspective, to have a worldwide impact from such a small effect there. And that is what we're seeing Iran carry out, not only in the Strait of Hormuz or in Israel, but across the region itself. Meanwhile, Israel continues to carry out strikes in Iran and in the capital of Tehran as they go after the Iranian regime. Iran's Red Crescent says residential buildings were hit in rounds of strikes. So we continue seeing this U.S. and Israeli attempt to further weaken the regime, John, as Iran continues to fight back.
Yeah, all these new developments occurring over just the last few hours. Oren Lieberman in Tel Aviv, great reporting. Thank you very much. Sarah?
Okay, breaking overnight, 90 million people in the path of dangerous storms that have turned deadly, spawning huge tornadoes. We have your forecasts. Also, we are minutes away from new key inflation report. The latest snapshot of the economy is before the war with Iran. Plus, Tilly Norwood, you know that AI-created actress? Well, she's back with a new song which asks you to believe AI is not the enemy. Those stories and more.
It's the next evolution, can't you see? AI's not the enemy. It's the key.
RWE is a leading global energy company. We've got 15 renewable energy projects under construction at the moment across Wales, Scotland and England, and many more in development. The great thing about investing here in the UK is the government has clear targets to reduce emissions. We've to date trained over 100 wind turbine technicians.
Yeah, we have an apprenticeship programme actually out on site day to day with the team.
Being woven into the fabric of the UK's energy system means we get to be part of the story of change.
$10,000. That's how much a funeral can cost nowadays. $10,000. That's a serious amount of money. And if you're unprepared, that cost can become a significant burden to your family and loved ones. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can now get up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses, including your credit card debt, with no medical exam, starting at less than $1 a day. That's peace of mind for you, and peace of mind for your loved ones. Best of all, your rates can never be increased, your benefits can never be decreased, and your coverage can never be canceled. The future is unpredictable, but protecting your family and loved ones can be planned for. With one simple phone call, you can guarantee that your family and loved ones have the means to help cover the cost of your funeral. So don't wait. Call now.
Call 800-278-1754.
Maybe you've had a recent health scare, a trip to the hospital, a new diagnosis from your doctor. All good reasons to start thinking about the future. But here's the thing. You can still get up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. Because there's no medical exam and no health-related questions. You cannot be turned down if you have pre-existing conditions. And even if you've been denied coverage in the past. Plus, your rates can never be increased. Your benefits can never be decreased. and your coverage can never be canceled. Don't leave loved ones with your debt. Call now and see if you qualify for a life insurance plan worth up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses, starting at less than $1 a day. There's no paperwork, no hidden fees, and no waiting periods. And you can start coverage right over the phone, starting at less than $1 a day. So don't wait. There's no obligation, and acceptance is guaranteed. Call today to protect your loved ones and their future. The number is up on the screen now.
Call 800-278-1754. That's 800-278-1754.
If you have an air conditioner in your home, you've probably experienced this. That's a drain pan overflow and can cost you thousands. An AC shutdown will leave you hot and miserable. This is why funky-smelling zooglea bacteria lives, grows, and sticks inside everyone's air conditioner drain pan, creating disgusting odors in your home and also causing your AC to clog up and ultimately shut down. Look, pouring in bleach and vinegar corrodes your coils and will cost you thousands. Using other chemicals and wet vac doesn't eliminate the odors and makes you a slave to your AC. Get iFlow. iFlow is a smart device that easily installs in less than 15 minutes and automatically dispenses our specially formulated iFlow Biotic cleaning solution that breaks up and flushes the bacteria out of your drain line, keeping your AC clean and clog-free, guaranteed. Join the over 100,000 satisfied iFlow customers. Available at these fine retailers or learn more at iFlow.com. And for enhanced features, get iFlow Pro, professionally installed by your local air conditioning company. Ask for it by name.
What if getting older didn't mean living with joint discomfort, brain fog, or low energy? Qualia Senolytic is the only all-in-one clinically tested formula with 9 ingredients designed to help your body clear aging cells. Taken just 2 days a month, this regimen works at the cellular level to rejuvenate energy and support longevity, helping you stay active and energized. With Qualia Senolytic, life truly gets better with age. Start today at qualialife.com/BOGO.
The United States and Israel are now both conducting strikes against Iran.
Supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
The cruise missiles that we're seeing here in Israel, unlike anything we have seen before.
Saudi Arabia has intercepted 2 drones.
There is the siren. We're going to head to the shelter.
Iranian drone flew directly over our head.
I actually spoke with the president this morning, one-on-one.
These are dramatic developments that are unfolding.
All right, just in, we have a CNN exclusive from our Nick Payton Walsh. Let me read you his reporting here. Quote, Russia is helping Iran with advanced drone tactics from its war on Ukraine to hit U.S. and Gulf nation targets in the Middle East. That's according to a Western intelligence official. This is a shift from the general assistance with targeting to specific tactical advice. Nick reports this is a new level of support. With us now is Congressman Mark Alford, a Republican from Missouri. Congressman, always great to see you. Nick's reporting there that Russia is helping Iran with advanced drone tactics. It comes at a time when the Trump administration is considering, reportedly, easing oil sanctions on Russia. How do you feel about easing oil sanctions if the Russians are helping the Iranians kill U.S. service members?
Well, John, first off, thanks for having me on. This is disturbing. Look, Russia supplied information to Iran during the initial strike last week. The administration certainly didn't like that. We didn't like that as well. I think maybe Russia's trying to play both sides of this at this point. Yes, they are going to help in some of the release of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. We need that to keep oil prices down. But this is a disturbing development. I'm sure the Secretary of War and the administration will be looking into this to see what action, if any, we should take.
You said we need this, quote. That means you would support sanctions relief even if the Russians are helping with specific drone tactics to attack U.S. installations?
No, I'm not for releasing sanctions on these nations that are out of bounds, basically. Okay. What I'm talking about is strategic oil reserves, and I know that the G7 nations are lining up to help out in that matter, releasing some 400 million barrels that's going to help offset some of the losses we're seeing through the Straits of Hormuz right now.
Interesting. Yeah, that is being considered actually as soon as 10 o'clock Eastern time this morning. On the subject of the Strait of Hormuz, we're just getting word that 3 Thai sailors are missing. There was a Thai ship that was hit in the Strait by a projectile, one of 3 that was hit. We have some images of this Thai vessel on fire. What does this tell you about what the Iranians are still capable of in the Strait and what might happen going forward?
Well, look, the Straits of Hormuz is a very dangerous place. It's very narrow. I think about 85% of the oil production out of Iran goes through the Straits of Hormuz, and so we've got to protect that. I think you saw the kinetic action from the Department of War in this administration to take out boats overnight that were laying mines in the Straits of Hormuz. This is a paramount target for, I think, Iran to try to slow oil reserves from getting out, although it's going to hinder their economy somewhat if they're not able to get the money for that oil that's leaving. So they're in a difficult situation. I think this administration is doing the right thing by taking out one of the objectives all along, of one of the 4 objectives has been to destroy the Iranian Navy. And this includes taking out these mining ships that are making it difficult for shipping to continue through the Strait.
What about escorting these tankers through the Strait? We've been told that's been considered, but as far as we know, it's not happened yet. Why wait at this point?
Well, I think it's got to be made safe. You've got to make sure that the mines aren't there, that the danger is not in place. Once that does happen, once we have better intelligence to make sure that the Straits of Hormuz is safe, then I think those escorts will start taking place.
Listen, Mark Alford, Congressman from Missouri, we appreciate you being with us this morning. We know you're down in Florida at these Republican congressional meetings. A busy, busy time for the country and for you. Thank you. Kate?
Parts of the United States cleaning up this morning after deadly and truly devastating storms. Some areas seeing just giant hail, shattering car windows, and really devastating tornado aftermath. Plus, a traffic stop leading an officer to a teenager who had been missing for weeks.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry Direct to learn more.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
Our friends sold their policy to help pay their medical bills. And that got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I was skeptical, so I did some research and called Coventry Direct. They explained life insurance is a valuable asset that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or keep part of it with no future payments. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies, or call 1-800-478-2700. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
Your house might not be a mansion, but it still deserves a $19 pro home cleaning. Your cleaner will scrub everything from your toilet to your stovetop. Your whole place will be vacuumed and dusted. Honestly, you might think the price is too good to be true, but once you try it, you'll never go back to cleaning the house yourself. Pick a date, choose your cleaner, and book your first cleaning today for only $19.
Origin Investments was built by investors for investors and has helped thousands build wealth through real estate. Our flagship Income Plus fund has outperformed its peer set average over the last 1, 3, and 5 years, with positive returns in 95% of months since inception. And for those seeking passive income, the fund currently has an after-tax yield of more than 6%, so you keep more of what you earn. Visit OriginInvestments.com to learn how the Income Plus fund can enhance your wealth.
This is CNN.
United States and Israel are now both conducting strikes against Iran.
Supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
The cruise missiles that we're seeing here in Israel, unlike anything we have seen before.
Saudi Arabia has intercepted 2 drones.
There is the siren. We're going to head to the shelter.
Iranian drone flew directly over our head.
I actually spoke with the president this morning, one-on-one.
These are dramatic developments that are unfolding.
For most of its life, the Oscars have been a tentpole of American life.
People around the world know what the Oscars are.
Oscar viewership has been on the decline.
These days, the struggle for relevance is real.
The players now are Apple, Amazon, Netflix.
Will Hollywood survive an era of streaming? So the question then is, can the Oscars save it?
Hollywood and the Oscars, still golden on CNN.
I'm Gabriela Frias in Mexico City, and this is CNN.
So this morning, we've now confirmed that 2 people are dead after the violent storms tore through central portions of the United States overnight. Officials confirmed that the 2 were killed and several others were injured after a tornado struck in northwest Indiana. The storms unleashed baseball-sized hail and even bigger in some places, and also brought about tornadoes reaching from Texas to the Great Lakes. It was a huge storm system, including, we're showing here, this one. It was captured on the ground near Chicago's O'Hare Airport. At least 10 tornadoes were reported across 3 states. Homes leveled, some people trapped inside, widespread damage and power outages. The storm threat remains as now it's moving east. Let's get to Derek Van Dam. Derek, what are you watching for now today?
It's so sad to see lives transformed in a matter of seconds. I want to show you this video coming out of Kankakee, Illinois. This is the long track tornado that produced significant damage, but also sizable hailstones. We'll talk about that, but notice the hail actually bouncing off of the hood of this vehicle. There's the tornado in the background. That's lethal in itself, but you can imagine with large softball-sized hailstones dropping from the sky, that will do some considerable damage as well. In fact, the state record in Illinois was challenged yesterday. It was previously at 4.75-inch hailstones back in June of 2015. It is preliminarily been broken, and this is the resulting damage from the hailstones that fell from the sky of likely 6 inches or more. That needs to be confirmed by the National Weather Service, but regardless, we're talking about state records toppling in terms of hailstones falling from the sky from Chicago southward. Here's the long track tornado that skimmed through central Illinois into northwestern Indiana. This is part of the larger set of storms. And here's our severe weather threat for the day today, Kate. Another chance of tornadoes, some areas here across the Ohio Valley. Keep an eye to the sky.
Absolutely. All right, Derek, and that threat continues today as this now moves east. I really appreciate it. John?
All right, we do have new images of a ship on fire in the Strait of Hormuz. 1 of 3 hit overnight. This is a new stage in the battle for one of the world's key shipping lanes. What Iran might do next. And we are standing by for a key report on inflation. It's interesting. These numbers will be from before the war with Iran. They won't even reflect the increase in gas prices. You can see market futures right now very flat. We'll bring you those new inflation numbers as soon as they come in.
Today we are talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. If you're losing benefits for any reason, have moved, or are new to Medicare, you can call now because you may be eligible for plans in your zip code with additional benefits or cost savings that you may not know about or that may not have previously been available to you. Some people may be wondering if they could qualify for a special enrollment period because of recent life changes. So don't wait. Call the number on your screen now. Call now with any questions about your Medicare coverage options. We will check to see if there is a Part C plan available in your area with additional benefits and potential cost savings. Call to speak with a licensed insurance agent and find out if you are eligible for an initial or special enrollment period. You don't get Medicare Part C benefits automatically, so call now for your free 2026 no obligation Medicare benefits review.
Just call 800-906-7034. 800-906-7034.
Today we are talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. If you're losing benefits for any reason, have moved, or are new to Medicare, you can call now because you may be eligible for plans in your zip code with additional benefits or cost savings that you may not know about or that may not have previously been available to you. Some people may be wondering if they could qualify for a special enrollment period because of recent life changes. So don't wait. Call the number on your screen now. Call now with any questions about your Medicare coverage options. We will check to see if there is a Part C plan available in your area with additional benefits and potential cost savings. Call to speak with a licensed insurance agent and find out if you are eligible for an initial or special enrollment period. You don't get Medicare Part C benefits automatically, so call now for your free 2026 no-obligation Medicare benefits review.
Just call 800-906-7034. 800-906-7034.
Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind every time you fill up. Start earning real cash back. Download the free Upside app to get cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. It's that easy.
I don't understand how more people are not talking about Upside. It's a free app that literally gives you cash every time you get gas.
You're putting gas in your car anyway? Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I just got cash back for commuting to work. Already made like $200 to $300.
So I thought it was too good to be true, but it's legit. I'm getting cash back every time I fill up my tank with Upside.
Download the free Upside app now to get cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code JOBS for an extra 25-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code JOBS for a 25-cent a gallon bonus. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind every time you fill up. Start earning real cash back. Download the free Upside app to get cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. It's that easy.
I don't understand how more people are not talking about Upside. It's a free app that literally gives you cash every time you get gas.
You're putting gas in your car anyway? Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I just got cash back for commuting to work. Already made like $200 to $300.
So I thought it was too good to be true, but it's legit. I'm getting cash back every time I fill up my tank with Upside.
Download the free Upside app now to get cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code JOBS for an extra 25-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code JOBS for a 25-cent a gallon bonus.
All right, the breaking news this morning, you're looking at new images from near or inside the Strait of Hormuz. That's that key waterway between Iran and U.S. Gulf allies. There were new attacks there overnight. A Thai flagship is one of at least 3 vessels that have been hit. Thailand's Ministry of Transport says 20 crew members have been rescued, but 3 at this point remain unaccounted for. We can show you the rough location of these 3 vessels inside the Gulf. You can see right there the area where we believe that Thai vessel is on fire. This stretch of waterway is just 20 miles wide. The shipping lane itself is only 2 miles wide. This is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. About 20 million barrels a day pass through that in normal times. Now, of course, is not normal times. It has ground to a near halt with almost no oil getting through. This morning, we also have a CNN exclusive. According to a Western intelligence official, Russia is providing Iran with advanced drone tactics it has learned from its war with Ukraine. That's to provide Tehran with intelligence to attack U.S. assets and Gulf nations' targets. Let's get to CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh. Nick, this is your exclusive reporting. What have you learned?
Yeah, it is an extraordinary and troubling development here. Now, I understand from a Western intelligence official that the skills, the targeting strategies that Russia has learned in its many years of using these one-way attack Shahed drones against Ukraine, that information is being passed to Iran to assist the attacks you've been talking about. There were 4 injured in Dubai. Drones suggested as being the issue there. As this official telling me what was more general support is now getting more concerning, including these targeting strategies. Now, that is obviously key because, as I said, that's 3 years' worth of battlefield experience. Now, the official didn't go into the detail of the strategies, but we know, I've seen it myself, these Shahid drones often come in waves of dozens sometimes. Ukraine can be subjected to 1,000 in one night. They come together, they change direction, they move in groups, they appear to be heading one way, then do something else, they change altitude. They're learning every single week new ways to defeat Ukraine's increasingly sophisticated and inventive air defenses. They say there's an innovation cycle on the Ukrainian battlefield of just 6 weeks. That's how fast it is for something to become ultimately out of date or be put into play. So this is a key sign, firstly, that we maybe the reason why we are seeing these drone attacks against the Gulf nations here and in the Hormuz Strait as well, becoming unexpectedly successful, of getting through, and also to the commitment clearly that Vladimir Putin has, if according to this Western official, his forces have, to assisting Iran in this fight. This is real-time expertise, real knowledge being transferred to the Iranians, this official tells me. I was also told, though, about the increased change of nature of the threat in the Strait of Hormuz. They are particularly concerned about the use of mines and also potentially about the use of low-technology fishing boats, dhows, to potentially target the carrier strike groups that are there. A lot fast-moving here, but this Russian tactical knowledge, so key probably to Iran, and the limited success, troubling as it's been, they've seen against Gulf nations with their drones. John?
Yeah, it's extraordinary that Russian-specific help could help Iranians target Americans in that region at a very time where the president is talking to Vladimir Putin and maybe considering easing sanctions on Russian oil. Nick Payton-Walsh, thank you for sharing that exclusive reporting. Sarah?
Really extraordinary. All right, sources telling CNN Iran, as you just heard there, laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. And this morning, President Trump is telling them to remove those mines or immediately, as he put it, face the consequences. The U.S. military has already destroyed several Iranian naval ships, including 16 mine layers. Let's go right to CNN's senior national security reporter, Zach Cohen. This is concerning. We were just hearing the report there from Nick Payton-Walsh that involves this. What are you learning?
Yes, Sarah, maintaining control of the Strait of Hormuz is clearly a defensive strategy and a core part of it for Iran. And U.S. intelligence suggests that they've already started deploying some of its arsenal of mines in that strategic waterway to effectively make it as dangerous as possible for any oil tanker or cargo ship that tries to pass through. And as we've been saying, the Strait of Hormuz currently is effectively shut down. Tankers are taking on great risk if they do try to pass through the strait. We're told that as of now, Iran has not taken extensive steps to deploy its arsenal of mines, of which it has around 5,000. They've started laying about a dozen or so in the last few days, according to U.S. intelligence assessments. But they still maintain 80 to 90% of their mine-laying vessels, according to the same U.S. intelligence estimates. That means that they could deploy hundreds of mines if they choose to go that route. And we've obviously this has gotten the attention of President Donald Trump, who issued a warning to Iran that any mines that they have put into the Strait of Hormuz need to be removed immediately, or threatening to that they would have to pay the consequences. It remains unclear, though, what the U.S. strategy and plan to address this current situation in the Strait of Hormuz is, though. As we've been saying, sources have been telling me that the situation now is currently too risky for a U.S. naval escort operation to escort those oil tankers and cargo ships through the strait. We heard Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Dan Kane acknowledge yesterday that those operations have not yet started. I think there's a lot of oil industry leaders, there are U.S. officials who are questioning why not and are really pushing the administration to do something to break up the logjam.
Yeah. Zach, this is just extraordinary what is happening here, and there are questions as to how this will all shake out. But the markets are volatile and the gas prices are going up, and a lot of people in America are really worrying about that as well as the war at large. Thank you so much for your reporting on that. I do appreciate it. Kate?
All right. Breaking moments ago, there's new data in showing that inflation held steady last month as consumers are now bracing for more higher prices with the war with Iran continues. Let's bring in CNN's Vanessa Yurkevich for much more on this. And again, this is backward looking, so not including some of the prices especially when it comes to gas, they've just seen jump this week.
Right. Unfortunately, this report signals some good news as inflation held steady. It did not rise. But it almost doesn't matter because we sort of know what's coming with these higher energy prices in March. But let's just take a look at what happened in February. So inflation holding steady on an annual basis, rising 2.4%. That's also what we saw in January. Ticking up slightly on the month, 0.3%. That was a little bit because we saw some additional pass-through from businesses of tariffs to consumers. Okay. So you're talking about home furnishings, things like that. But if you look at inflation over time, obviously we have come down dramatically in the last couple years from those incredibly high inflation rates that we saw over the pandemic. But we've kind of been teetering in this 2.4, 2.5, in between 2 and 3%, trying to get to that 2% target level, not quite getting there yet. In terms of what we're seeing broad scope, we always look at food, energy, and shelter. Food did rise on a monthly basis of 0.4%. We saw prices rise at the grocery store and for takeout. Also, energy prices, after falling by 1.5% in January, rising in February 0.6%. But as you mentioned, that's not even taking into account what we're seeing with the war with Iran and increasing oil prices and gas prices. Shelter, the biggest share of what we pay every single month, again, up 0.2%. Now, what does this mean essentially for the Federal Reserve, which is going to meet next week? Not a lot. Okay. Most investors believe that they will hold rates steady at this meeting. Of course, it's good news that inflation did not increase because there was a chance that maybe there would be some discussion about raising rates. But ultimately, this report is in the rearview mirror. Right. March is here, and March is where we're seeing significant increases in energy prices. If you look at the price of gas, just this morning, new numbers out, gas prices up almost 50%, 50 cents or more, $3.58 a gallon for people who are filling up their pump on average. That's up 4 cents from yesterday, and that's up more than 60 cents from a month ago when prices were below $3. So good news, we're not seeing that runaway inflation that we're always nervous about. Right. However, looking forward is really where we need to pay our attention just to see what that does for gas prices, energy prices at home, plastics. Think about all the things that oil is used to make. Those are the things we're going to be watching in March. So a little bit of a calm before the storm in this report.
I think that's a great way of putting it because so much is changing so quickly that we're going to see where we are next month. It's great to see you, Vanessa. Thank you so much for coming on with that breaking news. Sarah?
All right. Thank you to you both. Joining me now is Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O'Leary Ventures. First, just to this new report, what do you make of this new report? And of course, it does not factor in what is happening right now in the world with the war in Iran.
Largely irrelevant. This was obviously, as you pointed out, done before the conflict spiked energy prices. So it's not a good index of where we're at right now. It's helpful in the sense it's backward looking, and it shows that during that period when we didn't have the conflict, inflation stayed steady, which is encouraging. It doesn't give you confidence that the Fed will cut rates, who's ever running it. We're all going to wait for the next data set, and we're all going to wait for how long oil prices are north of $78.
Yeah, it's quite a jump. I want you to listen to Republican Senator Rick Scott, who spoke to our Kate Baldwin just a few minutes ago. He talked about the Strait of Hormuz and what he's learned about it. This is what he said.
I think right now it's still a dangerous situation. It's going to take a while for us to get control over the Strait of Hormuz.
So about 20%, as you know, of the world's oil goes through the Strait. If tanker traffic stays disrupted for even a few weeks, what will that mean to everyday citizens, and what will that mean to the markets?
If you go back in history and look at, when does it really impact, and Rick Scott's a huge advocate of small business, so he's always concerned about the baseline of entrepreneurs in America that provide over half the jobs. It's the same focus I have, and I talk to those CEOs every day. We're not going to have an impact on input costs. The thing about energy, it impacts every sector of the economy, all 11. It's the only commodity like that. And so before it really has an impact, you need gasoline prices, north of $3 for at least 3 months. And so that's why the market's very volatile now. It's not yet thinking that we're going to have oil prices between, the danger zone is $90 to $100. You have $90 to $100 oil for 3 months, you're going to have huge inflation problems, huge input cost increases, and politically not great for the midterms. So that's why the market's looking at this, as I am, saying, okay, how long is this going to go on for, and when is the focus going to be on opening up the straits? Because you're right, you have to have those open. But right now, I would say, and you know, I'm not for war, I hate it, and everybody should, but this still looks like an excursion, as they're calling it. It's going to have to drag out a long time before that situation develops, when we're going to have $100 oil again for an extended period of time. And so let's see how the next 14 days play out. Mining the Strait, even whoever's leading, Iran right now is probably thinking that's not a great idea if we want to stop the pounding that we're getting hit with. So it's a very, as everybody's pointed out, a fluid situation, but not yet hurting input costs domestically.
Yeah, I mean, too many of us who have covered war. This certainly looks like war to us. Some oil industry analysts are skeptical that the Strait could fully reopen and production sort of in the region come back online for at least a month. The White House has, been worried about, as are Americans, higher gas prices, which have gone up and up and up 50 cents on the gallon. I mean, what could solve the gas price hike in the short term?
Well, more release of the strategic reserves, but they're not they're not. When oil was very inexpensive, sort of sub $60, we didn't take advantage of that and fill up the reserves. Right now, globally, as we speak, we've got basically about 60 to 80 days. If you just shut down oil for everywhere, the world has on the water and in reserves about 2 months of oil. So every day that we have the Strait 22% going through there shut down, it's drawing down slowly all strategic reserves and the oil that's on the water in tankers. That's part of the reserve. It's floating to going somewhere. So yes, if this is going to be a prolonged situation, it'll be a bad outcome. But I'll tell you, policy-wise, what's interesting about this, and most investors have been talking about it in the last 48 hours, all the money we spent globally on alternative energy sources as a form of insurance in a situation like this looks like it was wasted. It hasn't affected, everything we've done in solar and wind cannot offset a spigot closing on oil. That's number one. Number two, coming out of this for the North American administration or U.S. administration, energy security, energy supply, and energy focus on hydrocarbons is going to be extreme, because nobody wants to see this again. And I think this is kind of interesting. And lastly, in talking just again with investors as a result of this, nobody likes war, we're going to be spending a whole ton of money on new inexpensive drone technology, because the Iranians have proven they can cause a lot of havoc with low-cost ordnance, and a ton of money on AI, because this war is I know we're talking about boots on the ground, but we don't have them yet. It's all been done using technology. Missiles from space or coordinated from space, all kinds of drone technology that's used and geo-locked, and everything else is tech. This is a tech war. And it gives you a kind of an idea of what it would look like if China acted up and they wanted to take out Taiwan. We better get ready. We've got to get ready with more AI.
Well, they're certainly spending a lot of money on this war, $890 million a day. That is what analysts say. We will have to see how this all shakes out. Kevin O'Leary, I do thank you. Appreciate it. Kate?
Still ahead for us, a man is pinned under his car in the middle of trying to fix it, and there's video now coming in of the rescue to help him. And Tilly Norwood, remember the AI-generated actress and singer, has now, well, that AI has now released a new song about her human side.
Tokyo at night is something else.
Wow, it's crazy.
The city feels alive.
Wow, that's cool.
Like you can taste the energy.
Ooh.
It's where traditional meets modern. And every step lights up a new discovery. Tokyo is truly unforgettable.
Whoa, and one day, all of this will be yours.
Thank you. Don't worry, that's not all I'm leaving you. I just called and got a guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policy for less than $7 a month. It'll help cover my final expenses. Oh, Mom, you're not going anywhere. I wasn't planning on it.
If you're between the ages of 50 and 85, you are automatically qualified for up to $25,000 in life insurance coverage. There are no health questions and no medical exams. You can't be turned down due to health. Your acceptance is guaranteed. Policies start at just $6.38 per month, with most benefits paid in as little as 24 hours. And best of all, your rate will never increase and your coverage will never decrease. That's our rate lock guarantee. Help protect the ones you love. Get a policy with a budget-friendly monthly premium and up to $25,000 in life insurance.
The thing about life insurance, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because once you need it, it's too late.
Now is the time to call the number on your screen and lock in your rate. Leave your family with the financial protection to help cover funeral costs, medical bills, or to use however they need. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing you've done all you can to help the ones you love.
Did you find what you needed?
Thanks, Mom, I did. It sounds like you did too.
You know I'm going to make sure you have everything you need, and then some.
Call the Guaranteed Life Insurance Helpline today. Get your guaranteed acceptance policy and lock in your guaranteed rates. You can't be turned down.
Call 800-775-8770. That's 800-775-8770. 800-775-8770. Call today.
The United States and Israel are now both conducting strikes against Iran.
Supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
The cruise missiles that we're seeing here in Israel, unlike anything we have seen before.
Saudi Arabia has intercepted 2 drones.
There is the siren. We're going to head to the shelter.
Iranian drone flew directly over our head.
I actually spoke with the president this morning, one-on-one.
These are dramatic developments that are unfolding.
For most of its life, the Oscars have been the tentpole of American life.
People around the world know what the Oscars are.
Oscar viewership has been on the decline.
These days, the struggle for relevance is real.
The players now are Apple, Amazon, Netflix.
Will Hollywood survive an era of streaming? So the question then is, can the Oscars save it?
Hollywood and the Oscars, still golden on CNN.
So is regime change in Iran an end goal for the Trump administration? As of this morning, that still remains an open question. That is because President Trump has indicated both things at various points, that he is not trying for regime change, but also that he must have personal sign-off on whoever is Iran's leader. And messaging from the White House on this still has not gotten any more clear.
Is the ending of this war also contingent on Iran selecting a leader that the president finds acceptable? And if so, how is that not the definition of a regime change war?
Look, as President Trump has blatantly and frankly stated, it's obviously within the best interest of the United States and the West to no longer have a radical terrorist in charge of Iran. We have objectives that we have laid out that the commander-in-chief wants to see achieved. When they are achieved, then it will ultimately be up to the president to end this operation.
Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, after a classified briefing yesterday, came out and said many things, including, though, this, posting to social media that they, the briefers, confirmed regime change is also not on the list. He means of end goals here. This brings us to the so-called smart bomb trap, kind of an illusion and a series of history-based history-based facts looking forward, coming from political scientist Robert Pape on this. Professor Pape joins us now to talk more about this. Thanks for coming in. Your take on this has been very, very interesting. But let's start here. You say that the United States is now entering the most dangerous phase in this military campaign so far. Explain why.
Thanks for having me on, Kate. For 30 years, I have studied air power and escalation. I've taught for the U.S. Air Force. For 20 years, I've modeled the bombing of Iran, taking out Fordo, Natanz, and regime change. President Trump is up against the weight of history. For over 100 years, states have been trying to topple governments with air power alone. And I'm choosing my words carefully, it has never worked. We are now about to enter the most dangerous phase of the escalation trap, as I call it, where initial success with precision weapons, which are tactically effective, and you see, we killed the supreme leader, lead to strategic failure, which then suck us deeper and deeper into a conflict we didn't plan to go deeper and deeper in, and we kept saying we would not. And we are about to enter that phase in the next week or two. This will be the most dangerous moment of the crisis.
I had Republican Senator Rick Scott on a short time ago, and I asked him about some more of what the Democratic senators were saying after they left their classified briefing yesterday. And as it was said by Richard Blumenthal, that the way he sees it and for what he took from the briefing was it seems that the president is on a path toward deploying U.S. troops on the ground in Iran. Let me play what Rick Scott then, how he responded. Senator, do you think the administration is on a path to sending in ground troops?
No. I mean, this president hates forever wars. This president has no interest in troops on the ground. So these Democrats that say this, they're being disingenuous. There was nothing in this briefing that said that we are going to put troops on the ground. There was nothing.
But now getting back to exactly your point and what you've studied and what you've written about, history has shown that an air campaign alone will likely not topple a regime. So what does that mean? The reality is that you think that the Trump administration, the Congress, and the public are going to need to face.
Well, on Sunday, I did a 25-minute video briefing of how this could easily lead to boots on the ground in limited ways at first. I can go to my Substack and they can find it and watch it for free. The bottom line here is Senator Blumenthal is right, and the issue is we know the nuclear material, this highly enriched uranium, is dispersing. And as it disperses, it could be going anywhere in Iran, and it could also start to go outside of Iran. And this is why it is so terrifying. So you don't have to have, here's the president's decision, here's the go order for boots. Once you see the dispersal, and we already have civilian satellite imageries of this that I show, once you see the dispersal, this is getting scary fast. And what are we going to do? Are we just going to let that nuclear material disperse and say, oh, yeah, shoot, we couldn't stop it from getting into Israel or Tel Aviv. We're not going to do anything to stop it? No, this is the reality. And President Trump himself yesterday explained, you can find video of him explaining that we have information of this leaking out, dispersing. This is the key to the whole crisis. It's always been for 25 years, the key. And this is the problem of the escalation trap. We are now trapped. And the Iranians are not just lashing back, they're dispersing that material. Lots of bad things could happen here, Kate, and I don't want to go through all those scenarios, but my goodness gracious, once you know that material is dispersing and it's real, this is what I think the senators are coming out with ashen faces.
Very interesting. Professor, thank you so much for coming in. John.
So in Massachusetts, officers and firefighters rushed to help a man pinned under his car in a parking lot. He'd apparently tried to jack his car up to take a look underneath, but the jack gave way. That's terrifying. They found him trapped and unconscious, but they managed to pull him out. He was taken to the hospital where he was treated for only minor injuries. A new video featuring AI-generated actress Tilly Norwood just in time for the Oscars, seemingly in response to concerns about the rise of AI in the entertainment industry.
They say it's not real, that it's fake, but I am still human. Make no
Obviously, a lot of controversy when her creators released her, put her out there in the world, and there were reports she might even sign with a talent agency. Sarah?
Okay, that was the part. All right. The U.S. intelligence community is warning of retaliation on U.S. soil after the killing of Iran's supreme leader. Sources tell CNN a flurry of warnings have gone out to American companies and government agencies in the past week. Authorities are concerned about several things. A, the security around U.S. energy infrastructure, also protecting government targets from cyber threats, and securing the border. Joining me now is Andrew McCabe, a CNN senior law enforcement analyst and former deputy director of the FBI. Thank you so much for being here. Let's start with this. Does the U.S. have what it needs as far as personnel after the DOGE cuts and other firings? Do they have the personnel to deal with this, what they are calling an increased potential threat?
It's a really good question, Sarah, and I don't know that anybody can answer that, maybe other than the director of the FBI. We know that Director Patel fired somewhere in the neighborhood of about a dozen experts on the Iranian threat picture in literally the days leading up to the outset of this war with Iran. So that's a great question. Typically, those experts are people who have been in the Bureau for years, for decades, and who track this threat picture, this set of actors exclusively. They periodically update Bureau leadership with the state of the threat, the Iranian threat, and we are at an absolute peak right now of concern with that threat because of the hostilities. So do we have the right people working that issue? That's a good question.
Yeah, maybe not quantity, but quality, those who know this like the back of their hand. One of the biggest concerns mentioned in the bulletins is cyber attacks. What kind of cyber capabilities do we know that Iran has? And obviously, it doesn't have to just be Iran right now. It's sort of the kick them when you're down thing. Other countries that would like to meddle could certainly ramp their attacks up too, correct?
No question. So we have four major adversaries in the cybersphere, right? We have Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran. And Iran is probably the actor that's shown the most development in its cyber capacity in the last 10 years. What started with what we call denial of service attacks, where they just basically target a specific website and bury it in traffic, nonsensical traffic that takes the site off the web. That's kind of a low-tech, rudimentary version of cyber harassment, if you will. But they have gone all the way through that cycle. They are known to be targeting U.S. critical infrastructure, energy structures, the transportation industry, all those things that are crucial for us to protect on any given day, but particularly when our troops are at war. There is also the fact that once our other adversaries, Russia, China, and North Korea, see us having to focus more intently on Iran, it essentially opens up the door of possibility for them. So you can expect opportunistic attacks from other actors during this heightened threat climate with Iran.
I do want to ask you about this, and this just came into us, so I hope I don't throw you here, but Nick Payton-Walsh, a reporter who's on the ground.
You've been watching CNN. Please stay tuned as we resume our regular programming on CNC3. You're watching CNC3. The views and opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of CNC3.
And they said, if you have any problems, call this number.
Something that is readily in the body. Yeah?
Familiar world we know is heading in a new direction. Unemployment and impoverishment are a widespread challenge. Natural disasters and tragic events are a daily occurrence. Our societies are trapped in a cycle of brutality, deception, and hatred. Families are being torn apart. Financial stability is being shattered by debts. Health issues are degrading the quality of life, and the life of many has turned into a nightmare. However, hope is not lost for you. This program will guide you on how to make a complete turnaround. You will witness results of faith and lives being changed.
My life, my family's life is blessed. And today I can say my son is totally healed.
There is a transformation, not just, in my life, but with my family.
Now on the air, Free Indeed.
May God bless you, Trinidad and Tobago. I believe that the door that you are knocking, God is going to open for you today. The solution that you are looking for, the Lord Jesus bring it to you today. A very good morning to you, viewers. The Free Indeed program is on the air. We are going to be with you in this next half an hour. Today I have here with me Miss Maria. Good morning, Miss Maria.
Good morning, viewers, and good morning to you, Pastor. And yes, viewers, if you would like your name to be placed into the holy oil, you can call us on 389-9880 or 709-8062. Call us, help us just a phone call away. We'll place your name and problem into the holy oil.
Thank you, Miss Maria. Our helpline is available for you that you are suffering, for you that you are distressed, depressed, for you that you are suicidal, for you that your family is falling apart, for you that you don't see a way out. You can give us a call right now, 389-9880, 709-8062. Let us watch this promo about Good Friday. Good Friday will be the day that is not an ordinary day, but extraordinary day. I'll be back with you.
There are pains that no one sees, a burden that many have been carrying. Some carry the pain of a loved one trapped in addictions. Some, the pain of a family divided. Others, the pain of a marriage falling apart. The pain of not having work, of unpaid bills, of sleepless nights, the pain of sickness, and even incurable disease. But Jesus carried every one of these pains to the cross. As his word says, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crime. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. This Good Friday, you and your family will bring this pain and place it at the foot of the cross. And on this day, you will receive the oil consecrated in Israel by Bishop Macedo.
Just as on the day of Pentecost, my Father made this day, this Good Friday, be a Pentecost throughout the world. Wherever there is a meeting, wherever there is this element here, let there be an outpouring, Lord, of the Holy Spirit.
Join us Friday, April 3rd, mainly at 9 a.m., but also 12 noon and 3 p.m. at our national headquarters, number 40 South Key, Port of Spain, or at any Universal Church near you. Call now to reserve your blessed oil on 389-9880 or 709-8062. This Good Friday, don't carry this pain any longer. Bring it to the foot of the cross.
Are you tired of suffering? Are you tired of crying? Are you tired to see your family falling apart? Good Friday is the day that you should mark in your calendar, April 3rd, the day that all your pain and the pain of your family members are going to place at the foot of the cross. But it's not your prayer request and your family request, but your family members should come with you. Yes, should come, because we are going to raise a great cry out, and all your pain are going to get an end. Also, we are going to give the blessed oil. The oil is here every day, as you can see. This is the oil that we are going to give you. April 3rd. Remember that in the past, the oil used to use for priests to be anointed, prophets to be anointed, and kings. Now, as the Bible says, we are going to use the anointed oil upon the sick. Not because I want to do that, but it's what the words of God says. Let us read it together for you to have an idea what is going to take place here April 3rd. Let us read this Bible verse. It says like this: is anyone among you sick? It's a question for you. Are you sick? Among you, your family members, co-workers, people that you know. Is anyone among you sick? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith will save the sick. Thank you. You see that it says for us to pray over the sick, a person that is sick, for us to anoint them and pray with faith in the name of the Lord, which means in the name of Jesus. So you that you are watching me right now, it doesn't matter which kind of sickness you are carrying in your body. My question for you is that, do you believe in the power of God? Do you believe in the power of prayer? Do you believe that what is written is true? Because what I'm going to show you now is not only words, but I'm going to show you the fact. I'm going to show you what happened, yes, in the life of Mr. Carey after he used the blessed oil. I believe I can have the picture before, just for you to have an idea in a full screen. Look there. That was him before the anointing oil. That was him before the prayer of faith in the name of the Lord Jesus. Thank you. But now you are going to see him, yes, after he used the blessed oil. You can give us a call if you want to place your name in the holy oil. 389-9880. 389-9880. This is our helpline number. If you want your name to be placed in the oil, give us a call right now. Also, you can call to reserve your oil. Yes, you are going to reserve and you are going to come for you to receive. You and your family. Remember, do not only reserve it for you, but reserve it for your family, that they are going to come with you. Let us watch this testimony. By the end of this program, we are going to drink the blessed water. Prepare your glass of water. Let us watch right now.
And one more testimony about the anointing oil. And what's your name, sir?
Carey Wright.
And what was the miracle that the Lord Jesus Christ brought upon your life by using the holy anointing oil?
Well, he took me off the street from hanging and being in the street doing everything in the world, and he showed me how to serve him. I used to smoke, drink, been through all kind of problems. I lay there, and after I stopped, he delivered me from drinking and smoking cigarettes. So I got myself together by coming to church and keeping the faith with the Lord. And then down the line, I got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and prostate cancer. I had surgery done last year, and it was a major surgery, so he delivered me from that. So it's been a year since I had the surgery, so I'm delivered from prostate and pancreatic cancer. And I've just been keeping the faith with the Lord and doing the things and drinking the blessed water, getting anointing with the anointing oil.
And how did you use the anointing oil? How you used to use it for the healing of this prostate and pancreatic cancer?
Well, I was using the oil to keep the faith and anointing myself on my stomach and, and getting anointing my hand and asking God to deliver me from the sickness I had.
And what about the cancer? What happened?
Well, no more cancer. It disappeared. It's gone. I'm healed. Cancer-free.
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 There was any need for radiation or?
No radiation, no nothing, no medication, no chemo, but just keeping a follow-up with my doctor, making sure ain't nothing growing in me like a tumor or nothing.
And every time you have gone back to the doctor, what the doctor have said about the cancer?
Everything excellent. No sign of cancer.
No sign?
No sign.
So you're totally healed?
Totally healed.
By using the holy anointing oil?
Yes, sir.
So Jesus Christ is real?
Real.
And what can you say to this person whom is sick, who has cancer? Can this person also come to receive the oil and God is going to bless this person's life?
You can come receive the oil at the Universal Church.
I can't breathe. I have migraines, numbness, weight loss. I live with it every day.
Are you tired of suffering? Does any of these relate to you? Incurable diseases.
The results of your test came back, and I have some bad news.
Constant fights at home.
What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna hit me? Show me how much you love me?
Addiction. Panic attacks. Depression. Spiritual attacks. Suicidal thoughts. Don't suffer in silence. Dry your tears. You are not alone. Call us now. The counselors are here with the phones in their hands, ready to take your call. 389-9880 or 709-8062. Call us now. We understand you.
I already have names from people who have been calling. I have Angela from Siparia who needs a family blessing. Also anonymous person who needs family prayer. Douglas who needs healing from a stroke. Ida from Coquille who needs a family blessing. Sonia from Port of Spain who has problem in her workplace. And viewers, if you are going through a situation similar to this, or you know of anyone who is going through a problem, give us a call on 389-9880 or 709-8062.
Thank you, Miss Maria. You know, cancer is one of the main sickness that can kill a person. As you see behind me, this picture, you know that our God is the God of impossible. What is your problem? What is your situation? What is your pain that you are carrying right now? Perhaps you are saying, I don't have a cancer, but maybe you have a heart problem, a heart failure, kidney problem, kidney failure. Maybe the problems that you are facing, that you are going through, is not physical, but is spiritual. Because you have a sleepless night, because your family you are seeing falling apart. You don't see your family united, but always you see your family in disagreement, fights, confusion. Yes, our God can restore your family. Our God that heals the sick is the one that can restore the family as well. I would like you to pay attention in this next testimony that talks about a family. Yes, usually we play testimonies here for you that talks about a mother that was praying, that was fighting for the son or the daughter. But now I want you to watch a testimony of someone that is the father that was fighting for his son. And you are going to see the results. You that are watching me, you have a family problem. I'm inviting you and your family. Yes, you and your family to be with us this coming April 3rd. We are going to give you the blessed oil. Let me show you the blessed oil that is in the cross, because this is the oil that you are going to receive April 3rd. If you want to talk to us or reserve your oil, give us a call right now, 389-9880 or 709-8062. Let us watch this testimony. Don't forget, prepare your glass of water in a few. We are going to pray for you.
My name is Dennis Brooks, and I had a broken family. Before I started to come to Universal Church, I had a family that I was separated from, and my kids, they had migrated. And I started to attend the Universal Church, and while attending the Universal Church, I learned how to, pray for my family, how to do purpose on behalf of my family. And it was this time of the year that we were doing the purpose for the family and anointing the pitiers with the holy oil. And there I was anointing the pitiers, blessing the pitiers every Sunday, every Wednesday. Every time we come in the house of God, we'll bless the pitiers. I'll pray the pitiers each day for my family, for my children. And it was a All Hallows night that, we were crying out on behalf of our family and the people in the church. And in that very moment, while we were praying on behalf of our family, my son, who lived in the United States, he was about to celebrate his birthday on the New Year's. And he left the club to take a phone call because inside it was noisy. And as he walked out the club, a car pulled up. They knocked him out, put him in the trunk, took him to an abandoned building where they wanted to do the gang initiation for one of their members. And my son was between his semi-conscious state, where hearing the encouraging the guy to shoot him, and he was just there. And the guy turned and said, no, I can't shoot this man. This man, no condition to be shot. I want somebody that up and walking and strong. Because my son was in a semi-conscious state. And it was in that same hour, that same time, that we were crying out for the family. And God was able to, even in that far away place from where I am here in Trinidad, He was able to protect and save my son from that gang having to take his life. Since then, I have been seeing my son life being growing. God has been blessing not just my son, but my entire family. Today, my family is blessed. They are protected by the hands of God. And I will advise any and everybody, to place your family life in God's hands. Nice, do a purpose for your family. Come to the Universal Church. We're going to teach you how to do purposes on behalf of your family based on the word of God.
This Friday is Friday the 13th, a date many people fear. A day long associated with bad luck, and the numbers don't lie. 1 in 10 avoid traveling by train. 11% refuse to stay in hotel room number 13, and 16% will not board a plane on this day. The fear of the number 13 has become so widespread that it even has a name: triskaidekaphobia, the extreme fear of the number 13. But ask yourself, is avoiding the number 13, staying away from black cats, or worrying about broken mirrors really enough to keep evil away? The truth is, the only true protection comes from the Almighty. For he said, I will put an end to all witchcraft. There are many altars out there: the altar of sickness, the altar of divorce, the altar of addiction, places where people seek solutions for their problems. Even evil spirits require an altar. But only the altar of God brings true results, and on this day, the altar of church will be open, so you can come to neutralize every form of negativity in every Universal Church location nationwide.
My dear friend, you know that the anointing oil works. Works for the sick, and it works as well for the family. You see, for how long you are going to wait. That's why I'm calling you to be with us. You don't need to wait until Good Friday, but you can be with us today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday the 13th. You that are going through a spiritual attacks, nightmare, you that you don't see yourself, you don't find your way. Maybe, as we heard in the promo you watch, the altar that is in your house is the altar of confusion, problems, addiction. Maybe you are watching me right now. For how many times you told yourself that you are going to stop drinking, smoking? You see your family falling apart because of the addiction. Now is the time for you to stop. Now is the time for you to say to yourself, enough is enough. The day is Friday, Friday the 13th. We are going to have the service of deliverance here at number 40 South Key in Port of Spain. But as you can see here, the address of our church, behind me you see Port of Spain. But you can see here, which church is near to you. You can go and attend the service, and you shall be free, and free indeed. Miss Maria, do we have more names to be placed in the oil?
Yes, Pastor, we do. We have an anonymous person who needs family prayer. Another anonymous for general prayer, Mr. Ram Charan, who need healing from kidney problem. Anonymous with family prayer. Dilma, who suffering from body pain and a kidney problem. Sherian, who need deliverance from NVIs on her job. Miss Rosetta from Tobago, who has body pain. She's also asking for family prayer. And Miss Sharon from Cuba with foot problem. And if you would like your name to place into the holy oil, you can call us on 389-9880 or 709-8062.
Thank you, Miss Maria. 389-9880. You can give us a call. You can continue to call because we are here available for you. Now, I would like you to prepare your glass of water. Now is the moment of prayer. As I said to you, you don't need to wait until Good Friday. You can come today, tomorrow, or Friday for the day of your deliverance. Prepare your glass of water. Let us talk to God.
It is time to pray
Let us seek God who hears, who heals, and who restores. God can help you. He can set you free.
When I'm at my end, tears pouring down, and I can't see past what's in front of me now. When it's all too much for this heart to take, there's one name I call, one prayer that I pray.
Now is the moment of prayer. Hold your glass of water. It's time to pray.
Let us pray right now. Our Lord and our Father, in the name of your Son Jesus, I ask you to bless and consecrate this oil that is in the cross. Lord, anoint with your power, because the family in Trinidad and Tobago are gonna be, my Father, April 3rd with us, for them to receive this blessed oil. So Lord, let your power be manifest upon those who believe in your words. I ask you to visit those, they are in the hospital, in prison, those who are suffering, depressed, those who right now, my Father, are going through a lot of problems in their house, in their family. Lord, my God, bring your peace, bring your joy. Let this family be united. Let this person, my Father, that is going through any sickness be healed. Bless, my God, this cup. Bless this water. And when, my God, when they drink, they may receive health and strength. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. If you all believe, say amen. Drink your water right now. We are in the end of our program, but you can keep calling. We are going to be here available for you. Don't forget, you can come today, you can come tomorrow or Friday. You may have a blessed one.
This Friday is Friday the 13th, a date many people fear, a day long associated with bad luck, and the numbers don't lie. 1 in 10 avoid traveling by train. 11% refuse to stay in hotel room number 13, and 16% will not board a plane on this day. The fear of the number 13 has become so widespread that it even has a name: triskaidekaphobia, the extreme fear of the number 13. But ask yourself, is avoiding the number 13, staying away from black cats, or worrying about broken mirrors really enough to keep evil away? The truth is, the only true protection comes from the Almighty. For he said, I will put an end to all witchcraft. There are many altars out there: the altar of sickness, the altar of divorce, the altar of addiction.
The views and opinions expressed in the preceding program were not necessarily those of CNC3. You're watching CNC3.
It's something like some kind of mutant thing inside of us.
It's something that is readily in the body, yeah?
Is literally in every single cell.
It helps with our heart, our overall wellness.
As a cardiologist, for example, I would use it in patients who had heart failure therapy.
Persons who have migraines.
So really we're trying to augment these organs to feel healthier.
This now becomes important in our supplements.
It's honestly a game changer with migraines.
We heard that it helps with our heart, our overall wellness.
I felt real improvement in my performance and my recovery.
If they're on starting drugs, if persons who have migraines.
We have something that can assist you guys. Welcome to Wellness Unlocked with Jameson. It's Rome, and today we are diving into the essentials for health and wellness, more specifically CoQ10. And to guide us through this journey, we are joined by a few professionals. First off, we have registered dietitian Ms. Onella Selena. As well, we have internist and cardiologist Dr. Dookie, and pharmacist for over 30 years, Mrs. Ramsey James. Now, these professionals have been in the field of health and wellness for many, many years, so it is my privilege to have each and every one of you with us here today. Welcome. So, Ms. Ramsey James, we started with you first, right? Because I heard about this CoQ10 thing, and I want to know what it's sounding like some kind of mutant thing inside of us. What is CoQ10?
Well, absolutely, Rome. CoQ10 or coenzyme Q10 is something that is readily in the body. Yeah? It's nothing that we don't have in our body. It's there to neutralize free radicals and support cellular health.
Okay, so you're saying it's something that exists in our body already. So let me touch with Dr. Dookie on this one, because we're talking CoQ10.
Yes.
You being our cardiologist, how does this affect our heart?
So CoQ10 is literally in every single cell. So it's used by the whole body. But certain parts of the body, the brain, the heart, and our muscles generally use a lot of CoQ10. So there are scenarios where the body will need extra CoQ10 for its health. Mm-hmm. So as a cardiologist, for example, I would use it in patients who've had heart failure therapy, patients who've had bypass surgery, and I use it in patients who are hypertensive. So really we're trying to augment these organs to feel healthier. And the CoQ10 now helps as part of the overall wellness of the patient. So as a supplement, it works well with other things, medication included, diet and exercise, as part of holistic health management.
Jameson's CoQ10 has really made a difference.
It made a real difference to me, both on and off the job.
I have to say thank you to Jameson CoQ10. As a retiree, I'm feeling very healthy.
I highly recommend that you give Jameson CoQ10 a try. It has worked for me, and it will certainly work for you.
I've been a fisherman for over 35 years, and I've been using statins to manage my cholesterol and to reduce inflammation in my arteries. But my doctor told me that it was lowering my CoQ10 levels, so I started taking Jameson CoQ10. I have noticed a real difference in my energy and stamina out on the water. I feel less pain and less fatigue. Now I am more focused and I am able to catch more fish.
So Ms. Selena, you mentioned is a part of a holistic way of keeping the body healthy, right? And he mentioned diet. So you being our dietitian, could we find CoQ10 in foods that we would eat?
Definitely. So as you would have mentioned, that some of our organs need high energy production. So that would be our heart, for example, our kidney as well. So we can also find it in food options that are similar, so the organ meats. But again, we have to take into consideration these may be foods that we don't have frequently. So the frequency of consumption dictates how much we actually have within our body for it to be able to utilize. So especially for persons, as he would have mentioned, heart patients, if they're on statin drugs, if persons who have migraines, this now becomes important to now supplement.
As a hike leader, my days are long, and certainly they are physically demanding. I spend many hours trekking trails, assisting my group to be safe, and staying sharp so that I can take proper care of each person on the trail. But some time ago, I noticed that I was feeling a bit of a dip in my stamina. My recovery time, especially after intense hikes, just wasn't the same. So that's when I came across Jameson CoQ10. And I have noticed an improvement in my energy levels. Climbing steep trails is not as difficult as before. My recovery time is better, I feel more alert, and this is really important to me as I grow older. So if you're someone like me and you enjoy staying active, but you need a little extra boost, then I highly recommend Jameson CoQ10.
Since I've added Jameson CoQ10 to my routine, I've felt real improvement in my performance and my recovery. personally, I trust Jameson and their quality.
Energy low? Recharge with Jameson CoQ10. The Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University highlights its importance in boosting energy, helping you feel revitalized and ready to take on the day. Whether it's tackling your to-do list or staying active with the ones you love, Jameson CoQ10 helps you feel your best. Take on life's challenges with natural energy you can trust. Jameson CoQ10. Get it at pharmacies nationwide.
I have family members, and I'm sure a lot of you at home, either you may have migraines or somebody you know may have migraines. How does this affect those persons with migraines, Ms. Ramsey, James?
It's honestly a game changer with migraines. It actually reduces the frequency and severity of migraine because it augments the cellular metabolism in the brain, of the energy in the brain.
So meaning that you would get somebody with migraines taking this as a supplement should have less severity, meaning that it wouldn't hurt as much when you get a migraine.
Right.
And then less number of migraines that they will get as well.
That's right, ranging from doses of 100 to 200 milligrams.
All right. Well then, for all of those suffering with migraines out there, we may have something that could assist you guys with it.
I've been retired a couple of years now. I was a glass cutter. A couple of months back, I started getting migraines and feeling fatigue. While walking one morning with a couple of friends of mine, I explained to them what was going on with me. They told me, you should try using Jameson CoQ10. I'm feeling very good. My heart is feeling healthy and strong. I no longer get fatigue. I have to say thank you to Jameson CoQ10. As a retiree, I'm feeling very healthy.
Struggling with migraines? Find your pain relief with Jameson CoQ10. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Headache and Pain found that CoQ10 supplementation significantly reduced the frequency and intensity of migraines in participants. Backed by science and trusted for generations, Jameson helps reduce the frequency and severity of migraines. Just 2 soft gels a day, and you could feel the difference. Because life's too short for headaches. Available at leading pharmacies. Start your journey to better days today.
Many people think my job as a librarian isn't very challenging, but between teaching classes, solving student queries, and staying focused all day, my job is very stressful. Every day, I would get home with bad migraines and feeling extremely tired. Not even a good night's rest would help. However, my coworker put me on to Jameson's CoQ10. I am now more focused, I'm able to manage difficult tasks, and most of all, Jameson's CoQ10 has really made a difference, and I would recommend it to anyone that needs an extra boost.
Feeling tired or in pain while on statins? It's not just in your head. Statin drugs can deplete CoQ10, a vital nutrient that fuels your cells and supports muscle health. A recent review from the California Institute of Behavioral Neurosciences and Psychology confirms that CoQ10 supplementation can effectively reduce muscle pain and fatigue caused by statins. By using Jameson CoQ10, you can restore your energy, ease discomfort, and regain your mental clarity. Don't let statins slow you down. Take charge of your vitality with Jameson CoQ10. Ask your doctor or pharmacist today.
As we get older, I know our body changes. So, Ms. Selena, how does the CoQ10 levels change as we get older?
All right. So, overall, as you get older, your body doesn't function as it once did. So, you need additional support. Again, and that prioritized diet. But then sometimes we need supplementation. So, as you get older and the levels decrease, we have issues with muscle weakness. We have fatigue. So, introducing that additional CoQ10 now gives you that energy from a cellular level to help improve your overall quality of life.
Okay, and I know that Jameson has a wide range of products and supplements, and we take many different things in our lives in terms of our diet and supplementation. So I want to ask our pharmacists, why take CoQ10 over other supplements?
Well, Jameson CoQ10 goes through a rigorous what we call a 360-degree quality process using bio-fermented yeast. So it's a very natural source of CoQ10, and the body readily absorbs it as a result. So you find it's more effective, it's pure,